Hello, fellow adventurers and collectors. Filmaholic here. Today's episode, we're going to be going over a couple of my recent action figure pickups, as well as talking about my milestone that I hit recently. But to kind of celebrate that, I figured I'd kind of splurge a little bit and bought one of the Holy Grail figures that I've been looking out for. So it was kind of right place, right time, and just so happened to line up with me hitting 1,000 subscribers. So I saw this listing for this figure in particular, and if you're not aware of this is from Very Cool. It was one of their early releases, and one that I always wanted to get but never got a chance to get my hands on. So when I was looking around for this figure in particular, I've been trying to look for the version that has the eyes looking forward. There's two variants to this one, the one that has the eyes looking to the left and then the eyes looking forward. This is before the whole eye mechanic thing became a common thing. So this listing in particular, it came with a few extra pieces that I think warranted the price. So that being said, here she is with whatever I could put on her that came with her initially. And unfortunately, with the age of this figure, some of the pieces are broken, so I either had to replace them or repair them at some point. But like with all my figures, I ended up parting out some of the other pieces for different projects that I had. Now, I put whatever I could on her right now, but like I do with all my other figures, I ended up customizing it to kind of add my own flavor to it, I guess. So, with that being said, something I wanted to go over is the extra bonuses that this listing had in particular. So, like I had mentioned, this release did have two head sculpts, and surprisingly enough, I found a listing that came with both of them. Did I need both of them? No, not necessarily, but it's good to have, the variant, to so to speak. So, not sure what I'm going to be doing with it in particular. I might just switch it out here and there, different poses and what have you, but for how rare this figure is, I'm glad to have both at the very least. So, as you can see here, you definitely get a comparison between the body of the Very Cool figure as well as the World Box thinner model. So, yeah. Like I said, we're going to be doing a little bit of personalization to this, so I do keep pieces randomly here and there, and I'm not sure where this one came from, but I had this garter belt holster thing that I had been saving for a while, and unfortunately it didn't fit the World Box body, so it actually worked perfectly here. I'm tempted to get a jacket for her, like a half zip or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure. Right now I'm happy with the way she turns out, and yeah. Simple enough figure, it's all one bodysuit and what have you, but it's cool to have, and I think I'll incorporate her into some story later on. And I always talk about doing these things later on, but if you're not aware, cicadas are here, and they kind of put a wrench in my projects, unfortunately, but we will overcome it at some point. But yeah, I just added that garter belt, nothing too spectacular in terms of my personal touches, but it's a very nice figure overall, and I wish that I had gotten it initially so I didn't have to pay as much as I did. Sorry about that, but now that we have everything out and I brought out some figures that I had on my desk, here's a comparison to the other figures that you can kind of give you an idea of the scale here. So, she's a little bit thinner than the typical World Box body that I use, and a little bit shorter than the Soldier Story body as well as the Action Man body. I think he's on a Cotswold body, but they're about the same height anyways. But yeah, definitely a cool figure, and I'm glad to have it in my collection, and been given the opportunity to get it. So, with that said, I was also gifted this piece here, and this is a Gangsters Kingdom figure, and this is of Spade J or something like that, I forget. But it's the caricature of Jason Statham, and one of the original figures, I believe, but this is a second release with a different outfit and everything. So it's a cool figure, very mobster-esque, and I love the shoes here, but definitely useful pieces here. Overall, it's good to have another Gangsters Kingdom figure in the collection. I don't really see these too often, and I think the newer releases haven't been hitting the same stride as the original stuff here, so it's unfortunate, but it comes with, the evolution of the hobby, I guess. But definitely some unique pieces as well, like this pistol. not sure what it is. So if you know what it is, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But I do like the look of it, and I kind of wish Gangsters Kingdom kind of leaned into this a little bit more for their, different characters that they have. Just kind of have like a variant, like a old school gangster and then a new school gangster as well. But unfortunately, that's not how it is. And something I am aware of with this figure in particular is that it does stain easily, so I'm very cautious as to what pieces are touching where. So if it looks a little bit wonky, it's with a reason, So if you haven't seen what these bodies look like, this is actually the Gangsters Kingdom 2 version, I think. But I swapped it out because you're not going to be able to see the tattoos anyway, so I had a spare blank one that I put on it. But point aside, these are my favorite bodies because they have the bulk to it, and as well as the articulation. And something else that this figure came with that I actually used for one of my other customs are these glasses. I know Laura has red ones, but I figured this is a close enough look. I think it works pretty well, so she's wearing them for the time being. But yeah, definitely a cool figure, and I'm glad that I was able to get this in my collection. I'm grateful that I was gifted this as well. Moving on, we have something that is totally out of left field. Now, me, I'm into various lines and what have you, and I actually got into something that is completely new to me, and that is Monster High. I have no explanation outside of, I don't know, they look cool and they're easy to customize and they're cheap, relatively, compared to, let's say, Smart Dolls. So I figured I'd get one, see how I liked it, and I was rather surprised by the build quality of it, and I haven't bought a Barbie or a doll, so I wasn't too familiar with them, and it's been interesting learning about the line and how they've evolved over the years. This is the G3 Draculaura, so yeah, I'm not trying to dive deep into this. There's a couple figures that I'm looking for, but outside of that, it's just a side interest of mine, and I've kind of got an idea to incorporate them into a story, but that's time will tell as to whether or not that comes to fruition. So I know that's not for everybody, and again, it's just a random interest that I got into, so I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I appreciate it when that, at least tolerates it. It's just a little side interest of mine. So with that being said, I thank you all for hitting 1,000 subscribers. I know this was a couple days ago, and actually we just hit my 7-year anniversary as well, so timing was kind of perfect there. But yeah, 7 years ago I didn't anticipate hitting any milestones. I was just a guy looking to share his interest and trying to find a community, and I'm grateful that we're kind of building that here. Along with the AOA, I think we're heading in the right direction and encouraging, sharing the passion of collecting and what have you, whether that be dolls, action figures, or cars, or what have you. It's definitely a part of the community that I truly appreciate. So I thank you for hitting that milestone, and I hope I do right by you all by continuing to grow that community even more. So with that said, thank you all for watching, and if you liked what you saw here, please like, comment, and or subscribe. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you all next time.